Shemamba, aha, ayeho TV, one casamode share very good. And I'm at say, and someone edi akotene ewe yama Ghana anywhere see fanayina. And I'm be ever don't mense woman and say wada so stay tuned. Na ye mumra sem na inkotie and sem munchi movie and by a bar. The akachi na ya twaso a day among.
Coming up, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, that's Emmanuel Amakofeboa, has said that the next step in the fight against illegal mining is to declare all forest reserves and also water bodies as security zones. Now, this measure is the latest in the government's quest to curb the Galamsey menace, following heightened calls by stakeholders for a declaration of a state of emergency. Let's hear the minister say this. We'll have a conversation on it. Take a look.
One is the policy reform, one is the stakeholder engagement, one is to deal with the water, one is to strengthen enforcement. All of these things that I'm talking about, why did we establish the Blue Water Guards? And now, just in the last week or so, the president has made it very clear that we are moving a step that says that all the water bodies and the forest reserves are going to be national security zones. You know what that means? Stress zone, no go. And we are now preparing to deploy permanent security forces in this area. The level of destruction that this new government came to meet, we are under no illusion that this is going to be solved in 8 months, but we are proud of what we are doing. We are seeing the progress, and at every time when we believe.
So that's the position that the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofeboa, espoused on GTV earlier. Now, Richard Kumado is security analyst joining us. Mr. Kumado, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. First of all, I want to understand exactly how different this path that government, through the minister, is taking. Instead of declaring a state of emergency, they want to rather declare these water bodies, forest reserves, where Galamsey is taking place as security zones. What's the difference between the two?
Because we clearly mentioned, for the purposes of public education, the state of emergency is a restrictive measure, and it causes high levels of discomfort within the geographical areas. Government is being clever about it, and they are adapting other methods of getting the same results in a different manner. Now, when you declare the water bodies and the forest reserves as a security zone, the predominant action within every security zone is security operation. And it is expected that the people within the catchment area are other participants, or they are willing to observe strict adherence. Any non-conformity or non-adherence may result in some level of casualties. But because these are exclusively, or you have exclusive right to the forest and to the water bodies, it makes it a little bit far away from where you have a predominant mass activities of human beings. And what this also means is that because the minister or the president is willing and able to declare a particular forest or a water body as a security zone, it gives exclusive right to security officers, the national anti-Galamsey officers, or any other military or the police force they will bring, the forestry task force, the gold board task force, and all other task force in a fight against Galamsey, to protect and to guide it. And they will guide it strictly that entering and exit will have to be based on strict procedure. So that is where we are. And I think if they can manage it that way, based on the geographical mappings they might have done and the security risk assessment which we have done for the past 5 years, it would have helped them to at least stop the other activities that finally resulted in the debris that fall into the water and create many of the mess we are seeing around.
And so this will involve the deployment of the military to these areas, water bodies that Galamsey is taking place on, the forest reserves where Galamsey is taking place, and so there'll be permanent military posts in these areas, correct?
Yeah, they use, my brother Felix Ofosukwati said, they have risk classified 44 zones as a high risk Galamsey zones, and they are going to put permanent law enforcement posts there. But if you understand how this terrain works, yeah, you may have a post, but it doesn't mean the same officers are going to be at the place for a very long time. They may go on routine, they may go on patrol, and they may go on routine basis. And so it depends on who is leading the operation and how they want to manage it. What is key in a security zone is a predominant feature of security activity. So all the activities, the major activities you will find around all these zones, whether they are in the forest zone or they are underwater bodies, are going to be largely controlled and managed by security forces, whether the BNI is the police or is the military, or exclusively by the National Anti-Galamsey Task Force they have formed. But then guess what? The task force we have, you know, the forestry guards are also task force in the fight against Galamsey.
Right.
Then you have the national Anti-Galamsey Task Force.
True.
Then you have other task forces
that work. The Blue Water Guards and all the others.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. Then you have the Gold Board. The Gold Board Task Force also play auxiliary role, not just in smuggling out people who are smuggling gold out of this country, but they also work in conformity with what the national task force.
In fact, there are some municipal assemblies that also have their own task force. The small scale, the legalized or registered small scale miners have also just set up their own task force to complement the fight against Galamsey. So we have a number of things going on. But then again,
you need to ask the minister, there has to be conformity. If they have conformity and they streamline it, then there will be what we call command and control, and it makes life easier for them. Other than that, we have to come back again and say some people are going out of line and they need to conform.
And I do appreciate you for this. Thank you so much. Richard Komado is a security consultant and analyst as well, joining us here on Ghana Tonight.